Malaysia seeks to lay multiple charges against ex-PM over 1MDB. Hello and good afternoon. I'm Mohanapriya. Welcome to News on 2. Newly sworn in Selangor Menteri Besar Amiruddin Shahri officially began his duties at the Selangor State Secretariat in Shah Alam this morning. He arrived at 7:55 a.m. and clocked in before entering his office. Yesterday, 38-year-old Amiruddin was sworn in as the 16th Menteri Besar of Selangor before the Sultan of Selangor, Sultan Sharifuddin Idris Shah, at the Istana Alam Shah. He succeeds Datuk Sri Muhammad Azmin Ali, who has been appointed the Minister for Economic Affairs at the federal level. Amiruddin holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Human Development from University Putra Malaysia. Amiruddin was Selangor Exco member for Youth Development, Sports, Cultural and Entrepreneurship Development prior to his appointment. Embezzlement and bribery with public funds are among the charges the government is looking to bring against former Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Razak following a probe into funds allegedly looted from the state-run fund 1MDB. According to Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, Malaysian investigators already have an almost perfect case against the principal suspects who had defrauded 1MDB and misappropriated billions of dollars in public funds. In an exclusive interview with the Reuters news agency, Tun Dr. Mahathir said Datuk Sri Najib, who had founded 1MDB, was totally responsible, as nothing could be done without his signature, which is on all the deals entered into by 1MDB. Investigators are looking to bring a number of charges against Datuk Sri Najib, and they would be based on abuse of power when he was Prime Minister. These could include embezzlement, stealing government money, losing government money, using government money to bribe, and a number of other charges. Tun Dr. Mahathir said he expected Malaysia to make its first arrest in the 1MDB case within months and hopefully start a trial by the end of the year. Meanwhile, the case involving the murder of Mongolian national Altan Tuya Sharibu could be reopened following the emergence of fresh evidence and reopening of cold leads. Lawyer Ram Karpal Singh, who is acting as counsel for Altan Tuya's father, Dr. Setev, described yesterday's meeting with the Attorney General, Tommy Thomas, as a fruitful exchange. When asked how soon the case could be reopened, Ram Karpal said he was unable to provide a time frame, but expressed confidence that the case will no longer be delayed.
Baru saja kami berjumpa dengan Peguam Negara Encik Tommy Thomas tadi, di mana kami telah pun mengadakan satu perbincangan yang agak baik, agak bermakna, di mana kami telah pun menimbulkan beberapa perkara berkenaan isu bagaimana perkara ini dapat dibuka semula untuk disiasat semula.
He said the focus of the case was to determine the motive behind the murder of Altan Tuya 12 years ago, specifically who ordered the killing. Ram Karpal was also asked on the possibility of a Royal Commission of Inquiry, RCI.
Prime Minister would advise the Yang di-Pertuan Agong to hold. Whether or not, of course, I think before the Prime Minister does so, he will seek the advice of the AG, because that's the principal duty of the AG, to advise the Prime Minister in such matters.
Altan Tuya, 28, was shot dead and her body blown up with military-grade plastic explosives outside Kuala Lumpur in October 2006. The government's current priority is to solve the national financial problems in order to achieve fiscal stability. Nonetheless, Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng reiterated that the Pakatan Harapan coalition is committed to fulfilling its 14th General Election Manifesto, as it has been mandated by the people to do so.
So I think we will do it. We are still committed to it, but we are doing it when the financial situation improves. Just as for information, we are facing 1 trillion debt. We find ourselves short of money everywhere, and I think we need to bring some stability in our finances before we can, as I said, implement all these promises, which we will do.
Guan Eng was speaking during a question and answer session at the launch of Malaysian Global Innovation and Creativity Centre Magic Global Accelerator Program in Cyberjaya yesterday. At the same event, the finance minister told a group of entrepreneurs that it was time for Malaysia to give some healthy economic competition to Singapore. He noted that Malaysians and the government needed a can-do spirit to excel against its southern neighbour.
Yeah. You must have the can-do spirit. For example, Singapore, why every time you say you must lose to Singapore one? Beat them at their own game, we can do it. Penang has beaten them every time.
Meanwhile, Magic will continue to operate as normal, though whether it will continue to be funded is not yet known. Its Chief Executive Officer Ashran Ghazi said Guan Eng had agreed for Magic's programs to go on as usual. He dismissed speculation that Magic would be disbanded, as Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad had said agencies deemed non-essential will be shut down. Proton Holdings Berhad is on track to achieve its 2018 intended target of its outlets nationwide to have 3S and 4S status. As of May, the company has achieved 72% of the target. Proton's plan is to attain 109 outlets of 3S and 4S stature by end of October this year.
Proton is doing right by strengthening that kind of distribution network to actually elevate it to become the so-called showroom of choice for potential car buyers, is to attract them first, and then importantly, they have to emphasize on the reliability.
Meanwhile, commenting on Proton's strategic partnership with Geely, Dr. Yah said it bodes well for the future thanks to the technology and research scope delivered by the Geely Research Institute, GRI. The Sabah government wants the relevant authorities that monitor prices of goods in the state to investigate if there was still a hike in the price of goods in the state despite the implementation of 0% Goods and Services Tax (GST). Sabah Chief Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Shafie Apdal said the check was necessary to address the problem of price manipulation in a controlled and prompt manner. Datuk Seri Shafie said existing agencies such as the State Domestic Trade Cooperatives and Consumerism Office, which has enforcement officers, must assist in the matter. Last month, the Finance Ministry issued an order for the GST to be zero-rated from June 1st, to be followed by the reintroduction of the Sales and Services Tax (SST). In another development, Datuk Seri Shafie said members of the State Cabinet should go to the ground to know the needs of the people. The Chief Minister also said he would conduct surprise visits to various areas in Sabah. A woman was killed and 10 others sustained slight injuries when a bus overturned at 33.3 km of the Karak Highway heading towards Kuala Lumpur. The incident occurred at about 6:30 p.m. yesterday when the bus, which was heading to Shah Alam Selangor from Jerantot, Pahang, and carrying 41 passengers, was believed to have gone out of control before it hit the road divider and overturned. Selangor Fire and Rescue Department Operations Management Branch Chief Ali Madya Bukri said the remaining 30 passengers and driver were not injured. He said the victim who died at the scene was identified as 35-year-old Emilia Mohamed Zaki. A fire engine with 32 firemen from the Selayang and Bentong Fire and Rescue stations rushed to the scene after receiving a call from the public at 6:34 p.m. An emergency rescue services team from the Genting Highlands Fire and Rescue Station was also rushed to the scene. All the victims were taken to the Selayang Hospital. Meanwhile, a total of 32 people were injured when an express bus driver lost control of his vehicle and crashed into a ditch along kilometre 24 of the Gerik-Jeli highway yesterday. Gerik Police District Superintendent Ismail Mat Issa said all the passengers, including an infant and the driver of the express bus, were injured in a 3 p.m. incident. The bus was headed to Kuala Perlis from Terengganu. Initial investigations suggest the driver had lost control of the bus and crashed into the ditch. Superintendent Ismail said the road leading to the scene comprised of a slope with a bend. He also said the bus driver sustained serious injuries to his head and was rushed to Gerik Hospital. The case is being investigated under Section 43, Subsection 1 of the Road Transport Act 1987 for careless and inconsiderate driving. The United States aims to deepen partnerships with Malaysia under the leadership of Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. At the same time, it is exploring the possibility of President Donald Trump visiting Malaysia after the 33rd ASEAN Summit in Singapore in November. White House National Security Council Senior Director for Asian Affairs, Matthew Pottinger, disclosed this to the media during a roundtable in Kuala Lumpur yesterday. Pottinger said the relationship between the United States and Malaysia has been rooted in strong people-to-people ties, the shared democratic values and shared vibrant commercial relations.
Had the pleasure of delivering today a letter to the new Malaysian government from President Trump, congratulating Prime Minister Mahathir and congratulating also the Malaysian people on this election and on this peaceful transfer of government to a new coalition.
Pottinger, who's on a working visit to the country, said he had meetings with government officials and American business chambers to discuss about the business climate in Malaysia. And that concludes this afternoon's edition of News on 2. In our top story today, Malaysia seeks to lay multiple charges against Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak over 1MDB. According to Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, investigators have already an almost perfect case against the principal suspects of the scandal. Now, News on 2 will be back at 7 p.m. this evening. Till then, I'm Mohana Priya. Thanks for watching.